Hi there and welcome back to It's Only Paper. I'm Lisa and today we are going to be creating a new junk journal. I've been meaning to do this since December. It is now almost Feb and I'm really excited. I've just been, just when you've been really excited about something but the time hasn't come, the right time hasn't come. It wasn't something that I wanted to rush, so today is the day. I'm a little bit sad about this. It was a book that was recommended to me by a friend. I haven't got round to reading and I would still like to read it, but the cover, it's just such a good size for me. My book last year, my journal was slightly smaller. It's this one, so you can just see it's slightly smaller, but the spine isn't large enough, so I've decided to make one from scratch this year. I still need to finish last year's though, and I'm not giving up on that yet, but I do want to start this year's. And I just thought this was I like the colour of the cover. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut out the pages. We'll do that in a moment. I'm also going to be using a tea towel, which is quite exciting. This is a proper junk journal today. I'm also going to go through, I've just been going through bits and pieces and choosing papers for my signature, which we'll be cutting down. And I just thought I would show you what I've chosen. Got a couple of bits out of one of Grace's junk journal kits, Miss Paper Lover. I've still got quite a lot left from the one that she sent me, so I'm going to use that. I found some old acetate. I have been going through my old stuff. You know, the stuff that you kind of like stash away. I've got this. This is Webster's Pages, so I might do that at the front. This one, look at this. You can see why I've stashed this one away. It's from Prima. Do you remember when Prima used to make their pages? It's just sewn. It's really thick, beautiful paper. This from Cocoa Daisy. You'll also notice there's a bit of a colour theme. I've decided not to go like super vibrant in the journal because Kaiser Craft there. I want the colours to match my kind of like favourite colours. And I'm also then going to be like adding to it anyway. Some Kaiser Craft as well there. Is that Kaiser Craft? No, Pink Fresh, I apologise. This one here is a Maggie Holmes. See, that one's a bit more colourful. There's a little bit of colour. This one is also from Grace's kit. We've got Winter Wonderland or Wonderland here from Fancy Pants. I particularly liked that side. A couple of plainer ones. And then we've got some script music paper. We've got an old atlas and we've got more of a modern atlas as well. So that's what we're going to be using today for my pages. Could be that this only ends up doing me for 6 months. It's going to be a weekly journal. Sometimes though, I don't do it every week. It could be sometimes if I've missed a few weeks, I might do 3 in 1, or sometimes I've got a lot going on like a birthday, so I might do a whole day. So I don't sort of tie myself down to anything. And that way just works best for me. Right. Oh, and I've also got my little binder toolkit as well. Let's start by taking out the pages. And thank you to my lovely friend Lee who sent me this. Let's see, I am hoping that this comes out quite easily. It could be that I end up using the pages eventually anyway. Let's see how this goes. Just go careful when you're using a craft knife. This is what I was hoping. Nice and sharp. And then we can tidy this up as well as we go. That's fab. And the other side as well, just so that we've got the cover left. I will need to extend it because it's not going to be wide enough. I don't want to make the same mistake as last year and not have enough space, and that's when the journal then bulks out. Excellent. So if I do want to read the book, I still can. I know to some people this is just horrific, the thought of cutting up a book, and I apologise to you if it really upsets you. And I do understand years ago there is absolutely no way I would have done this. It's almost like sacrificing a book, and I know they're precious, but I don't see it as being harmful to the book. I see it as continuing the book's story, giving it extra love, giving it a new home, a new lease of life. I don't actually see it as destroying a book. It's just loving it in a new way. So I hope you can understand that, and I know it took me a long time to feel like that as a book lover, somebody that was brought up to love books, not destroy books. As a child, I can understand why people would feel like that. Right, so that is our cover. I'm now going to remove this here because we need a wider spine. I will keep this. Could be that I end up using it somewhere, somehow. It does look quite cool. Right, let's take the sharp knives away. If you're a younger person doing this, please, please, please ask your responsible grown-up to help you with this. Don't tackle this on your own. Right, now we need a spine, a wider spine to bind our signatures to. I've just realised I've picked out this, but it's not actually, I don't want the seam, you want strength, so actually that's not going to work. I'm going to need to find something else. These are my options. I've got an Amazon box, but I think this is going to be too flimsy. I've got some real good grey card here, like hard board, what do you call it? Grey board, that's what it's called, isn't it? But I think this might be too solid and a bit, I guess do you know, I probably could cut this with the craft knife. But then I've also got this piece, like a board. I think I'm going to go with this. Be easy to bind through. I think I'm going to do this. So I want to make sure, this is always the problem I have, that I underestimate how much space I'm going to need. I'm thinking I'm going to do 2 signatures. Maybe if I do this for 6 months and have 1 to 3 months in the first, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, let's do it that way. So let's have a decent size signature. Maybe like that. Let's see. I just want to make sure that I've got enough space for it. I'm really good at underestimating how much I'm going to actually need. I will give, let me just show you a couple of examples actually, because if you are new to this, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So here's 3 that I prepared earlier. Oh, this photo's come out, I've just realised. This one here, which I'm about to show you, I'm going to tie it up and you can understand why then. Let's move these over. This one was the first one that I made like this. Lovely wide spine. I've got 3 signatures. I haven't created huge amounts in here, which is why it hasn't bulked out so much. I have, however, added fabric there, which I think I'm going to need to do with this one as well, because you can tie it together. It sits nicely on the desk. You can see there's lots and lots of space in there. I love this one. Lovely wide spine. It's just worked really, really well. And we go on to the second one I've made. This one as well, you can see there's not as much in here. 2 signatures, really happy. Nice size spine. It stays nice and close together, even though it hasn't got the fabric there at the moment, because there's not too much in there, it stays closed. Then we go on to this one here. Let's take that clip off. It's just massive. It really is. I do have a lovely big spine. However, there is a lot in here and I've still got a lot that I want to journal. I should add the fabric to be able to close it, because then it would possibly stand. I mean, it stands nicely, but as you can see, it takes up so much space. It is a proper chunky one. Look at the size of that spine. That is huge. You sort of think compared to this one, there's a big difference, isn't there? I do love this. I love it so much. And I'm finding, I mean, I'm not an expert in making these at all. I'm still a beginner. I still make mistakes. And with every journal I'm making, I'm improving and realizing that next time I make one, there's different things I want to make. I love how everything sticks out. I did actually recently film a flip through of this so you can see how it's like come along. Like I said, it's still a work in progress. I'm still adding to it. But I'm loving it. I'm loving it so much. So I'll leave the flip through down below if you'd like to have a look. It's just so lovely. I just want to cuddle it. So don't moan at me if you think I'm not doing something quite right. But by all means, leave a comment and let me know if you can see something that I've done that you think I can improve on for next time. I'm very, very appreciative of that. So there we go. That's going to be our spine. Now the next thing we're going to do is add some tape. There's lots of different tapes you can use. Duct tape seems to be a popular one. And you want a little gap in between just so that you can easily open and close your journal. I'll show you that in a sec. There we go. You don't want it too close together. Let's bring that up. We're going to be covering the spine, so don't worry too much. We just want it to be nice and strong. And this means now, because we've got the little gaps there, I don't know if you can see that too well, it closes. I probably haven't done that spine quite large enough. We'll see. We'll just keep it for 6 months and we'll see. I said we'll see. It's not like I can change it partway through, is it? But I think that will be fine. There. So now what we're going to do is make it nice and strong. Let's add lots of tape. There we go, lots of tape, nice bendy cover. I'm happy with that. Next thing I'm going to do is, oh, do I want something inside? I know I'm going to need to do that, obviously. I'm going to leave that for the time being, I think. And I am going to work on here. Right, the next thing I'm going to do is use this old tea towel. I was going to bin it. It's definitely not charity shop worthy, but I loved this tea towel. But as you can see, it's really had better days. I wonder if, not quite long enough to do that. I was wondering if I can do it in half to do the tassels on both sides. Right, what I'm thinking is cutting it to go on there. I am going to need to pop it over the top like that, but we're going to have it half book and half tea towel. I think that will look really cool. Oh, actually, it more or less closes. I'm not going to have the, I could have the pom-poms inside actually, couldn't I? I don't know yet. That doesn't quite close. I may well have to have something. I'm not sure yet. I like it like that. And then I need to decide where it's going to be. I think I need my better scissors. Let's over exaggerate how much I've got and cut that down. I just love it. I love the fact that it's like faded and vintagey. I obviously have washed this. It is a clean tea towel. It just seems a shame sometimes to bin things, doesn't it? Again, giving something a new lease of life. I want to be able to fray this. So I think I might actually work at that right now and just fray those ends, because that's going to be on display. I'm going to be able to see that. So I would rather it was frayed like that. Right, I might have a change of plan. I don't know if I can be bothered to fray this, to be honest with you. I found this, it's brand new. I've just taken it out of the wrapper. I was on the Fancy Pants design team years ago. I'm talking over 10 years ago. And I've still got stuff that was sent to me that I still haven't used. And this is one of them. And I'm just thinking this pom-pom would look so good. So I might actually use this along the edge. So, whoops, let's ignore the fraying for now. I just couldn't be bothered. It wasn't happening easy, so we'll do something else. There's always a plan B. Right. This kind of thing isn't my forte. I don't have a lot of patience. And I do struggle with this kind of thing. So, am I happy with that much showing? I might actually trim it off slightly and have slightly less showing on the other side. I won't bin this. This will be fabric that I can use actually on another page. Yeah, I'm happier with that now. So it's like part of the book showing on both sides. That's cool. And then the next thing I want to do is work out, just make sure that all of the tape is covered. Let's pop that like that. That actually might work. This is going to be really pretty. I'm going to get my fabric glue. And last time I was, at the craft show, I actually bought some of this tape, which is a lot stronger, purposely with the thought of, does it tear? No, it doesn't. Using it for making journals, thinking that it would actually hold it in place a lot better. So I'm going to be using this, and I'm going to use fabric glue as well. I've used like double-sided tape in the past and it's been absolutely fine, but if we can go for something even stronger, then that's great too. And I'll just peel these off, and I am just going to use a little bit of fabric glue as well. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Am I doing the opposite? Am I taking the sticky then away from the double-sided sticky tape? It's worked for me in the past. I guess that's why I'm doing it again, because I haven't had any problems. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing to do, whether you should use one or the other. There. Let's make sure that fabric's nice and flat. And I'm going to do exactly the same inside and add my tape and stick the fabric, the tea towel I should say, to the inside. I've done exactly the same here. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep all this fabric on here. I think I will remove this little pom-pom from that one. I might end up removing all of them, I'm not sure yet. On the inside, a few improvements to make. I ended up cutting inside, my battery ran out, so I've ended up just quickly doing this. I've cut off the pom-poms just to help it lay flatter inside, and I've cut out this middle section as well. We're going to have something else on here. It just makes it a little bit tidier. It's a little bit loose here, so I am going to add some more tape underneath, but the rest of it sits really nice and flat. I'm also going to add the pom-poms on the other side. I think I'm going to work inside though, just so that the back closes properly. If I've got the pom-poms on the other side as well, it's just going to be a little bit harder for me to press back on it. But I just want to make sure that this bit inside lays flat, because at the moment it's just loose here, as you can see. So let's pop this here. It's the first time I'm actually using this tape, so I'm really interested to see how much stronger it actually is. Whoops. But it feels nice and strong. It definitely feels like it's holding nice and secure, which I'm pleased about. Now to decide what's going to cover up that little mess inside. Let's make it look pretty. I have decided to use more of the tea towel. I'm going to carry on with this. I am though going to cut off the seam. Oh, it's from Marks and Spencer's. I didn't know it was an M&S one. I don't even remember buying it. I know they were in a pack. And obviously the pom-poms and the colours sold it to me. Let's take off. Actually, I'm not going to be using that anyway. Like I said, I am definitely not an expert when it comes to these kind of things. I'm thinking I might actually take off. It just feels a bit bulky. It's just that bit. I should have maybe cut that off anyway. Maybe that would have been better because now I've got that bit there that's stuck out. Like I said, I am definitely not an expert at this kind of thing. I'm still learning. Right, so yeah, I think I made a boo-boo with that bit there. Let's pop this like that, and then that will look nice and tidy. So we cut that like that, and that is such beautiful fabric though, isn't it? It's really lovely. And we're going to cut that through there. So I've cut it to size. I kind of want it to spread over that. So the idea is that will be like that. Doesn't have to be perfect because the signatures are going to cover up most of this, so you're not actually going to see huge amounts, so don't worry about that. I've ended up putting some tape on there to cover that bit up. I find that with any type of crafting, it's all about covering my mistakes. I shouldn't say mistakes, but covering up things that, you know, when you think, oh yeah, that's going to do that, and then it doesn't quite work. That's what I find anyway. It's just, I do something and then I cover it up with something else, and then something else happens and then I cover it up again. I just realised I've forgotten to take that off. So, yeah, it's a bit of a covering exercise, but like I always say, it's only paper, so don't panic. I think that's what crafting is all about a lot of the time, isn't it? It's being crafty. You're being crafty with something, you're doing something, and then you have to fix it or whatever. How did I forget to take up that? That now can go on there. And we're going to add a little bit more of this. Just want to make sure it's really stuck down in place. And like I said, I am more than happy to be opened up to ideas. If you know of something better to use, or you use something that you find really, really works well, please leave a comment down below, because it's not just myself that will benefit and learn. It's obviously other people that will be reading the comments as well. So I really, really welcome any suggestions. Thank you. Let's see if we can now get this on straight. There we go. This is not perfect. Let's see if I can stretch this over slightly. Like I said, I'm not panicked about it being perfect, and by the time you've got your papers on here, you're not even going to notice anyway. There we go. That is cool. I'm happy with that. I'm going to need to trim off some of this because it's hanging over there and there, and I look forward to these. I think once the pages are in, this is going to look really cool. It feels nice and secure, but I do want to add the yellow trim along here. This might be easier said than done. Actually, I think having it over the edge will probably be the best. Oh, I could actually use the tape. I wonder how that will stick. This is so sticky, this stuff. Let's pop that over like that. This will be a little bit of an experiment. I should have put this underneath actually. That would have been even better, just to keep it tidier. It's a Sunday afternoon as I do this. This is such a lovely Sunday activity. Aid's been watching the football. He's just walking the dog now, and then I'm going to put some dinner on. It feels like a nice relaxing thing to do. And I know I've been meaning to do this for a while, but I really enjoy doing this, and I just didn't want it to be one of those activities that I was doing just because I had to get it done. I wanted it to be something that I enjoyed when I did it. I want to make sure these pom-poms are straight. You know what I mean, don't you? I just really wanted to enjoy this and not run out of time, or be doing it when I'm tired and wasn't really in the mood for doing it. That actually goes quite well, doesn't it? And then we can pop that in there. Let's take this one off. Sorry, little pom-pom. and cut that there. And then I've still got sticky on there, so that's good. And then I am going to do exactly the same this side. I've still got sticky there as well. Let's take this one off. I cut my finger a minute ago, it's really sore on these scissors. Right, that's better. That actually looks really tidy. It looks better than I expected. It'd be interesting to see how well that ends up sticking. There. That is cool. And I've got some frayed bits on the top here, which I'm going to keep. I am going to keep working on the frayed bits, I think, because I think they will end up being really, really fun. I like things like that. And by the time, again, I've got all my pages with all the sticky out bits, it's not going to be very noticeable anyway. It's just going to add something to it. All right, I'm going to have a quick tidy up, and then I'm going to start looking at my signatures. I really love this part. Let's get on and make some signatures. Right, I am going to use, I think, one as a size guide. I haven't decided which one yet. How about we do a plain one? So this will be interesting actually, because I've obviously got 12 by 12s, and to fold over a 12 by 12 isn't actually going to be that large in here, is it? I didn't even give that a thought. Right, let's do that anyway for now. Yeah, I did not even think about that. Although, no, actually, saying that, no, that's going to be absolutely fine, because once it's in here, it's actually even going to be slightly too large. There was me laying it down thinking, oh, it's far too small. It's actually probably going to be spot on, if not slightly too big. I'm going to need to cut it down, I think slightly. Right, so I'm going to trim it down slightly. We don't want it to be the exact same size. We want it to sit slightly underneath. So I am going to make this one my template page. I don't want all the pages to be the same size. They're going to be a little bit hicklety-picklety, and we're going to be making 2 signatures. In case you are new to this, signatures are the pages, the groups of pages that you bind inside. So, for example, this one has 2 signatures. I have got the 2 lots here, as you can see. 1 lot that side and 1 lot that side. And we're going to have 2 in this one as well. So let's just double check. If that were to be in there, that closes nicely without the pages sticking out over the edge. And that sits inside. Lovely. So let's get on. I'm not going to worry about the order that they're going in at the moment. Like this one sticks out slightly. I think we're just going to have to trim them all down slightly. Just really love the colours. See, that is perfect because I love how it's slightly different size-wise. The acetate is a little bit of an experiment. I haven't actually used acetate in one of these before. I don't actually know how it's going to go. I don't even know if it's going to go very well. But we'll give it a go. You don't know until you try something, do you? In my head it will look amazing, but that isn't always the case. I don't know if that's going to fold very well. I'm wanting to do that one as the very first page. So we'll pop that to one side. And then I'm just going to go through the rest. So for example, this one I can see it's, sorry, excuse me, way too big. So actually, you know what we could do? I quite like the idea of doing it. My camera card just filled up, so I'm not sure exactly what I've missed. I've decided to tear this one for a different edge, and I will keep these bits that I've taken off because they will be used on another project. Look at that, this will be so cool. Oh, look at the frog, that's really cool. I like that a lot. So I'm just going to go through and just fold paper and cut it to size. I've got 6 pages here, as in 6 whole one of these, each one, plus I've got the plain ones, and now I'm going to add some thinner pages as well. So I'm trying to make them as equal as possible. So what I'm thinking with these, let's see how these are size-wise. And then these we can just add in. I think these are going to be slightly too tall. Actually, no. They are going to be fine. Yeah, we can get away with those. That's good news. So we were going to add some of those. So I've got 2 signatures. They are both pretty much the same size, as you can see. They both also got the same amount of pages in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I might fancy a smaller one in there as well. That's 11. How many have I got in this one then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've got the same. I'm going to keep it like that. I'm quite happy with that, to be honest. And as you can see, they're a mixture of thicknesses as well. That one's quite a thin scrapbooking paper. This one's a chunkier one. Then I've got like the book pages, which are super thin. So it's a nice variation. And I've also gone through and made sure that the pages are varied as well. So we've got different patterns, nothing clashes. Obviously, as I go through and create each page, I might add envelopes, pockets, but I'm not adding any of that for now. I'm just going to keep it at that. And let's test that in here. Excellent. I am happy with that. I do want to add fabric on here, but I haven't added that yet. I'm now going to start adding my signatures. I think I feel a bit nervous. Let's start this. I've just taken a piece of scrap paper out the bin. You can see completely junk worthy. I've used it already. It's going to, we want to have the same size as the spine. It's slightly too short, but that's absolutely fine. This is going to be our template. That fits in there nicely. Let's pop this up here. And this is where we're going to work out our holes. So that fits in nicely. Now to find out where to make our holes, we fold it over again, and then fold the edge to the middle, and there you can see the creases. So we are going to make our 2 signatures. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I forgot to do this one to the middle as well. Oh, hold on, what have I done here? Right, let's start this again. Let's do different colours. I've done those by mistake. That's better. And that's where the holes are going to go. Let's clip that in place. If you were doing 3 signatures, you can add them in the middle as well. Ooh. Make sure that's still correct. Then let's get our, I can never remember what this is called. I get told every time I make one of these videos and I completely forget. Go careful with poking this through the pokey tool. It is super sharp, but it really, really does its job well. This is going to be a bit trickier doing it through fabric because it's not going to be as visible. hopefully that will work fine. And then this is where we're going to start the binding. Just make sure with your hand that it's properly away. And this is where we're going to bind our signatures in. I'm also wanting to do the same here. I always find this really, really tricky. Now, something somebody did say to me was to use washi tape to keep the pages in. Oh, see, I've already budged it. It's great to use clips if they're the same size. However, these aren't the same size. Let's pop some tape there. I just always seem to move them when I do this, and they always seem to slip. It's never the end of the world. It's never sort of ruined a journal, but it just makes it really fiddly. Let's find the center. Let's pop the clips there. Like that. And then it's deciding what colour you would like. This one actually goes quite well. I've also got a darker one which would actually go with the journal. I quite like that. And then I've also got some wool which I quite like as well. I might go with the pink. Let's go with a bit of bright. And then to get your length you want 1, 2, 3. That's well and truly over what we need. And now for the fiddly bit. I use the template to be able to put the holes, make sure it's in the center, clip it in if that's easier for you, and then use the sharp pokey tool to go through, and where the holes are, that's where you poke through, and that way you know you've got all your holes going through all the pages in the exact same spot. And obviously then you line it up with the journal. This one, the smaller one, did fall out, so I made sure that I did that correctly as well. It does work. It works really well. It may feel fiddly sometimes things move, but keep at it. I did make a mistake. I used this pink thread. I love this pink thread. I've used it before in a journal, but it's not overly strong, and going through quite a lot of papers and the journal, it wasn't the best choice, to be honest with you. It might have looked pretty, and it did end up tearing afterwards. So make sure you've got good strong thread. The waxed threads are the best ones. They are really good. You can pull it really tight and tie it, which is when I came across the problem here when I was pulling it. Sew your pages, do one signature at a time. As you can see, I'm sewing it all in. Sometimes I find it easier just to separate the pages from the journal and do it that way, and then link them up. Do whatever's easiest for you. If you do make a mistake, just simply go back on what you've done and redo it, but take your time with it. Don't rush it. You can also add charms as well if you want to the beads on the back. That can look really pretty, like I did on my previous Disney journal. But just take your time with this little bit here, and then decide as well if you want to tie up your loose threads in the middle or on the outside. I always prefer the middle. I think it looks just a little bit tidier. And just go careful. These really aren't ideal for this kind of thing. The wax would have been so much better. I've actually broken one, snapped it off in the other signature. It's really not ideal, but they look so pretty. I do like the pink. Let's just trim these. Oh. I was just a little bit heavy-handed when closing it. Let's see how this looks. I decided to have this on the front. Might just take that. I like seeing the difference there. Could be that I end up adding like punched pieces to the pages. I'm pleased with how this looks. It looks so nice. And I forgot to add the acetate after all that, but that's fine. See what I mean about not actually seeing too much there in the fabric? So it actually looks really neat and tidy, as you can see. And then obviously by the time I've added so many other pieces, it will be fine. But this is going to be my junk journal for 2023. 3 or the first 6 months anyway. I'll see how it goes, how I manage to keep things up, and I'm sure I'll be adding flips and other bits and pieces. I might just leave it like that for the time being. I do quite like this. I'm really chuffed. You can add beads and things. I may well add something, I don't know at the moment, because I can obviously clip things on. I'll see how things go. I did want to add a couple of pieces, so I didn't want it just left like that. I am wanting to pop this on here. This was from, I think this is Pink Fresh Studio, if I remember right. And I took it out of a die cut pack with this in mind. I might add some beads actually to the spine as well. I bought some in Tiger the other day. I'll see if the colours go. You know when you see something like that and you think at the time, oh, I'm going to grab other colours as well, and then you think, no, I don't need them. Now I'm really regretting not picking up the other colours that they had in Tiger. Right, let's pop that over like that. I'm liking that yellow on there. And then I was going to have Delight in the Now. And I was also going to have Let's Have Some Fun. I want to do something to cover up that hole. Or do we have it like that? Yes. And then I can have the little heart there. I might actually trim that like that, so it looks like it's hanging underneath. And then I've got this tiny little heart, which I'm going to pop on there. A bit worried about these coming off. I'll see how they go. Actually, you know what I should have used? The red tape. I'm going to add that as well, I think. There. I quite like that. Delight in the now. Let's have some fun. And let's quickly sort out something here as well, just to make it, jazz it up a little bit. These are the beads that I was just talking about that I picked up from Tiger. £2 for these. Oh, I didn't realise as well. That's quite cool. You actually get some string with them. Oops. I think the colours will go really, really nicely. Let's try and use some wool. I haven't done this before, so we'll see how it goes. There we go. We've got some little charm tassels now with some wool. I think they look quite cute. I like the colours. They go really well. Just adds a little bit of interest to them. I quite like that. And that is the journal. I'm going to call it a day with this video. I've had so much fun. And remember, things like this isn't in completely straight. It's not the end of the world. By the time you've started adding all your journaling and your pages and your flips, you're not going to notice. And like I said, remember how that didn't look perfect? That looks really, really nice and tidy now. I'm so happy with this. No doubt I'll end up... Oh, I tell you what, I've got a lovely something I can add there. When I was going through looking for my pom-pom trim, I've had this for years. See, I could pop that on there to tidy that up. That will look so nice. So I know just sort of like over time, I will no doubt add various bits and pieces to the journal. And anything that I'm not 100% with now, I know that will be covered up. Like I said, I think sometimes crafting is all about covering up, isn't it? There we go. So don't ever get yourself sort of like in a panic that maybe things aren't as you envisaged, or maybe weren't as quite so tidy as you'd hoped. There's always ways around things. Another perfect example of covering something up. That looks really pretty, doesn't it? I like that. And I think I will do... I wonder if this will work the same because... Yes. Gosh, I don't know how long I've had that. I've had that piece absolutely years, probably over 10 years. And it's finally come in handy. There we go. And remember, even if it's not perfect, it's not the end of the world. It's your journal and you should feel proud of it. And all the hard work that you've put into making it. I'm looking forward to filling this with loads and loads of memories. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. Bye.